Wisdom living. What a great concept. Congratulations, Mr. McMullen. You saw a need and you determined how to fill it. That is wisdom in and of itself. Well, I believe I have the perfect item for you. It's actually a tool to help people to gain wisdom. I think you'll appreciate it very much. It will work beautifully in with your ability to close the sale at some point in the future. My presentation will be uniquely different than anybody else that you have ever seen and that your clients have ever seen. That in itself will cause conversation to continue long after they have been at your wine and cheese seminar. As we get older, it's all about making transitions. It's going from where we are in life to where we need to be. Being able to make wise decisions in that process is critically important. I believe we have a tool to help them to do that. You certainly have created an environment that are going to allow the people to do that. Here's a tool that will help you to do that. It's a mnemonic device. It is going to require a paradigm shift. Of course, that's when we see something one way and then we shift it and we begin to see it a different way. Normally, you will see this object that I'm going to give you, this device that I'm going to give you, as a game piece or a toy or a thing of chance. Now you're going to begin to see it as a tool, as a thing of choice, something to help you to make wise decisions with. This wisdom tool is a 7-sided gold die. Now normally when we see dice, we think of that thing of chance, just a toy. This is the thing of chance, this is a thing of choice. This is a toy, this is a tool. It's a tool to help us to organize our thoughts. It's a tool that delivers a systematic approach to thinking. It helps us to be wise. It doesn't really teach us anything new. It allows us to take all of the knowledge that we've been accumulating for years and systematically process that information so we can make wise decisions. Okay, so let's take a look at our let's take a look at this mnemonic device, this tool to help us gain wisdom. It is a 7-sided gold die. It has 6 outsides and 1 inside. The inside's invisible, but you know it's there. You have to use your imagination to be able to see the inside. The inside makes up over 99.9% of the entire volume of this die. Remember, it's who you and I are on the inside that counts. All decisions we make, everything we accomplish in life starts from the inside. Now, if we're racing around the board as fast as we can possibly go, let's say mnemonics are designed to be a trigger to help us to remember specific things. With the die, each side teaches us a lesson. We learn something from 4, we learn something from 2, we learn something from 6. With this being a thing of chance, if we were racing around the board as fast as we can possibly go, we might roll a 3, we might roll a 4, but 6 would be our highest. That would be the best that we could do. With this, we're taking a chance of doing our highest. With this, we choose to do our highest, or we choose to do our best. How do we do our best? By focusing on one thing at a time. It's the power of focus. Every time in our life when we've ever done our best, it's because we have focused. Any one thing that we focus on, we know there's going to be 2 sides. There's going to be what we know and what we don't know about that one thing that we want to do our best on. Therefore, we can't have a closed mind. We need to have an open mind. That's the only way that we can grow, is by having an open mind. You know, Benjamin Franklin used to take a sheet of paper and he would divide it right in half. On this side, he would put the cons, and on over here, he would put the pros. And he would look at the pros and cons to help him to make a good decision. Anything that you and I want to focus on and commit to ourselves to do our best, we can look at short term, how does that impact us? Long term, how does that impact us? What the cost of something is, what the benefit is. Any one thing that we want to do our best on, we can break down into smaller and smaller pieces until we know what to do. Side 3 is really cool. Here we are in the middle. This is you and I. We want to talk to a person and get some outside advice. We seek counsel. We find out what that person knows about that one thing that we want to do our best on. But then that person's going to be gone. So we seek another person over here to get their advice about that one thing that we want to do our best on. And then that person's going to be gone. But now we know what this person knows, we know what this person knows, and so we're better equipped to make a good decision. So it goes 1, 2, 3. Focus, see both sides of the story, talk to some people and get some outside advice, and you will know what to do. We're going to want to make sure that every single person gets their very own gold die and a gold wisdom booklet that will specially design with your message in there. People come up to me all the time and say, "Stan, I still have your gold die," which is a very good thing for you, because what we're doing is we're getting into the mind. You know, marketing and sales is all about getting into the consumer's mind. If we can help you to get into the consumer's mind, then even if you don't make the sale initially day one, you have the opportunity to follow up again and again. And those people are going to be happy to talk to you. I know your request was for 3 speaking engagements. However, based on Mr. McMullen's vision, I'm assuming that you're going to have sales presentation after sales presentation after sales presentation. As we learn how to work together, modify the presentation, I believe that both of us can help a lot of people and make a lot of money in the process. I look forward to working with you. My name is Stan Reynolds.
Stan Reynolds is a life coach and a dynamic motivational speaker. Here's what people are saying.
This actually helped me to think what I'm going to do next.
How many of you ever seen a 7-sided gold die? It has 6 outsides and 1 inside. The inside's invisible, isn't it? Can you see the inside? No, but you know it's there, don't you? It's the inside that holds everything together. Everything that you're going to accomplish in life is going to come from the inside out, right? And it's who you and I are on the inside that really makes a difference. If we're going to change our lives, we change our lives from the inside out. From the inside out. Has anybody ever seen like a stick and you thought it was a snake and you jumped? Has that ever happened to you? Yeah. Well, what literally occurs is that your brain was triggered. This is going to be a tool to help us to organize our thoughts. Now, the way that it functions, it's going to function as a trigger. It functions as a trigger. Each side means something. When we see 6, it teaches us a lesson. When we see 1, it teaches a lesson.
Stan did a great job of motivating you to think beyond the box.
I think he gave us a very good message for us to come back and do some more with. So I appreciate it, Stan. Well done.
So every time I pull this out of my pocket, I begin to think about my relationship with my wife. And neither of us were doing what? Neither one of us was listening. Well, we actually reached a point where it just had gotten to the climax, and I just had her down on her knees like this, and big crocodile tears were coming down. And she said this, "Come out from underneath that bed, you coward!" I have to learn to begin to see things from her point of view.
It's the first time I've heard Stan give a full class. I've heard him give speeches, but he really excels at the full class. Listening to him, not only do you pick up knowledge of the die, you pick up knowledge of speaking and a confidence that he has in speaking, and I think this really comes from his heart.
If there's an automobile accident out here and 5 different people see this automobile accident, how many stories are we going to have? 5. So when we see side 2 really means that we have to stop seeing things the way that we see it. We need to see it from other people's point of view. When we go to side 4 is categorization. It's the ability to categorize all of our thinking. If we've taken a sheet of paper and we've written things down.
I never thought that something as simple as a little die could teach some life lessons, not just for adults, but something that can be applied to kids and teenagers as well. And I'm anxious to put these lessons into practice right away.
After the fires are out, after you've already dealt with the children and the grandchildren, and you've dealt with all the problems at work and the problems with the house and the car breaking down and all those things, and you begin to decide that you're going to come to the end of the evening, you pull out your change or you pull out your keys, and there it is. There it is. And when you have that and you see it, you're going to remember that you committed yourself to do your what? best on one thing. Whatever that one thing is that you want to accomplish. And so literally it's going to take your brain back one more time to that thing that you want to accomplish.
For more information about Stan Reynolds or to schedule a speaking engagement, please check out our website at www.golddye.com.
Listen, this has been a great program. It's the 7-sided gold die program, this system that Stan has put together. You know, for me, I know so many principles, but I don't have a system in place that reminds me how to use the principles that I know. And I'm looking at this program, I'm going, I'm going to put this die in my pocket, this little dice in my pocket, and I'm going to remind myself to use 1 through 6. And yes, there's a 7th side to this that when you get a chance to listen to Stan, he'll explain it to you. All the things fall together. You sit there and say, you know, if I do this on a regular basis, if I put this discipline in my life, I just might get organized. I actually might even get my garage cleaned.
I've just completed a workshop with Stan Reynolds and the Gold Die system. What I find really exciting about this system is that you can apply it to almost any level of your life. I found it interesting that you could use it to solve a personal problem or to work through a personal problem or a personal situation. You could use it in a business situation. It travels light. The gold die is small. It's easy to use. The principles that are represented by the different sides of the gold die are applicable to so many situations. And Stan is just such a dynamic speaker. He really engages the audience. He has some audience participation as well, which really worked out so that people got to know each other a little bit and to share their goals and their thoughts as to how the gold die system might be able to work for them. And I would really recommend this as a learning tool, a tool for the mind, which is what they represent it as, and it truly is that, for almost anybody in any situation. And I would really highly recommend Stan Reynolds and the Gold Die for businesses and for individuals.